What would you want people to know about Hungary?
It's a good one.
Being in the international spotlight in the last years, I think that it's very sad because I think that we are in the spotlight for not the right reasons.
Nagyon sokan azt hiszik, hogy mi magyarok nem vagyunk elfogadóak, holott a újabb generáció, a Z generáció, alfa generáció már sokkal inkább az, és nem vagyunk egyáltalán olyan ridegek sokszor, mint amit gondolnak rólunk.
My name is Ákos Modolo. I am 29 years old. I live in Budapest. I am a board member of Simpleton Association, which is an LGBT youth association here in Hungary.
My name is Adam Bakai. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Hungary, from a countryside. I'm in the media. I do a YouTube channel and I own a podcast on YouTube.
Welcome to Hungary and its capital, Budapest. Known as the Pearl of the Danube, this city was born 150 years ago from the merger of the former capital, Buda, and Pest, its alter ego, on the other side of the river. Once considered one of the crossroads of Europe, Hungary celebrates the 20th anniversary of its accession to the European Union this year. But the relationship between the Hungarian government and the EU is far from relaxed. For several years now, the conservative nationalist government has pushed the country towards a new kind of authoritarianism, earning it a reputation as one of the EU's troublemakers. As a result, the gap between Hungary and the EU is widening, as well as the one between the capital and the rest of the country.
Magyarországon szokás mondani azt, hogy van Budapest és van Magyarország, ugyanis Budapest annyira más. Igazából hiába nőttem fel vidéken, nem tartanám a családomat és saját magamat se konzervatívnak.
It was a more of a right-wing conservative environment. Most of my family is more right-wing conservative. My grandfather ran for local office with Fidesz, which is the party of Viktor Orbán, and my grandparents are still huge supporters of Viktor Orbán.
Mert ugyanakkor vidéken nekem vannak olyan volt osztálytársaim, évfolyamtársaim, akiknek a szülei borzasztóan konzervatívak voltak.
I have conservative friends, liberal friends, but the government creates a hate campaign and they don't involve us in the discussion. The problem is that we don't have checks and balances here in Hungary because the government has a supermajority. They don't even need parliament.
Például tegyük fel, amikor mondjuk van egy szavazás, legyen az akár a országos, legyen az csak mondjuk akár a polgármester, stb. Teljesen látszik az, hogy mondjuk kire szavaz, tehát hogy ilyen szempontból gondolkodásmódban is eltér Budapest vidéktől.
The 2022 parliamentary elections enabled Viktor Orbán, the president of the conservative nationalist Fidesz party, to run for prime minister for a fourth consecutive term. He started this mega mandate in 2010, but he had already held the post between 1998 and 2002. This means that young Hungarians in their 20s have known him as the face of their country for half their lives. From immigration to media freedom to the judicial system, the conservative reforms imposed by the government continue to extend their grip over Hungarian society and are raising concerns in Brussels.
Will you let it happen that a government that violates the values upon which this union was built without consequences?
In July 2021, the European Commission opened infringement proceedings against Hungary over its law banning the so-called promotion of homosexuality among minors. Some cultural associations, programs and content which raised awareness around LGBTQ+ issues were banned. This meant ACOS's association is no longer authorized to run sensibilization campaigns in schools.
There were some teachers who ended up on government media front page because allegedly they were doing sexual propaganda in schools because they talked about LGBTQ topics. And I would say that if you are more open about you being LGBT, then can be harder, like if you want to hold hands on the street or if you wanna apply to certain jobs, and a lot of the workplaces which are related to the Hungarian state are not LGBT friendly. I mean, I don't want to generalize, but There are a lot of LGBT people who have to hide themselves at their workplace. The transgender community is having the worst time here because the Hungarian government banned the legal recognition of gender, so basically they cannot legally change their gender here in Hungary.
Aware of its lack of popularity among parts of Hungary's younger population, the Fidesz party is trying to rebuild their relationship with this electorate through a number of attractive fiscal measures, mainly big tax breaks. Since January 2022, under 25s have been exempt from tax. In 2023, this measure was extended to mothers under the age of 30, and to all families with more than 3 children.
A magyar kormány alapvetően nem csak ugye a fiataloknak, illetve ez is a fiataloknak, de nem csak a 25 éven aluliaknak próbál segíteni, hanem van egy úgynevezett családtámogatási projektünk, amit hát meg lehet vizsgálni több szemszögből. Én egyébként nem szeretnék feltétlenül gyereket, hát már egy gyerek után is van támogatás, de akár 3 gyerekkel tudod a legnagyobbat nyerni, szóval Magyarországon nagyon-nagyon családot kell alapítanod ahhoz, hogy a kormány segítsen. Hogyha elmúltál 25 és nem is akarsz családot, akkor lényegében teljesen magadra maradtál.
To promote this traditionalist model among young people, Viktor Orbán has made social media his communication tool of choice.
Európai Bizottság azt mondta,
Sziasztok srácok, ma arról fogunk beszélgetni, hogy
Adam dreams of becoming a TV anchor and influencer. He studied at one of the government-funded communication schools attached to a private television channel.
Nekem TikTokon közel 80 000 követőm van, és én megosztottam az emberekkel azt, hogy a TV2 akadémiára járok, mindazért, mert bíztam benne, hogy ez közelebb visz a gyerekkori álmomhoz. De ugye a TV2 azért viszonylag tényleg kormányközeli, és ezt a legtöbb ember így gondolja. Ezért amikor én megosztottam ezeket a gondolatokat, akkor hát nem tudnám itt a 2 kezemen összeszámolni azt, hogy mennyi olyat kaptam, hogy na egy újabb kormányközeli finoman fogalmazzak, és különböző csúnya jelzőkkel illettek.
The EU is equally critical of Viktor Orbán's Hungary. In September 2022, the European Parliament released a report stating that the country was no longer a democracy. On the other side, the Commission froze several tens of billions of euros of funding initially earmarked for Hungary.
Sok esetben Magyarországot talán külföldön sokan támadják amiatt, hogy nem teljesen demokrácia uralkodik itthon, és sok esetben sajnos ezzel nekem is egyet kell értenem. És
I think that the European Union as a whole gets a lot of criticism. A lot of the criticism is a fair criticism. I don't feel represented by the government, by the Hungarian government as a young person. Because my impression is that they are more talking to the older generations. I am very proud to be a European, and I am also a huge supporter of the European Union because I feel like the European Union is very supportive of young people.
Hiszek abba, hogy egy nagy Európa vagyunk, aminek Magyarország is részese kell, hogy legyen, ezért én próbálom annak érezni magamat, de nem feltétlenül könnyű, mert elsősorban azt szeretnék, hogy mi magyarok legyünk, és nem csak európaiak. És talán ez összeköthető azzal, hogy miért vándorol el sok magyar Magyarországról.
Over the last 10 years, more than 500,000 Hungarians have left their country to work or study abroad. This represents 5% of the population. On the other side, European students are no longer allowed to come to Hungary. In January 2023, the EU abolished the Erasmus program in the majority of Hungarian universities.
It's sad that a lot of my friends have left in the last years, especially from the LGBT community. People ask me why I am an activist here in Hungary, and a lot of people see that the situation here is not changing and that there is not hope, but I always say that I wouldn't be an activist here if I wouldn't see the huge potential here in my country and Budapest.
Az okát talán nem is tudom megmondani, de én szeretek magyar lenni, szeretek Magyarországon élni, és én szeretném azt, hogyha Magyarország változna, és nem nekem kéne máshol menekülnöm azért, mert itt ellehetetlenítik az életet.